The character MJF will be playing in an upcoming movie has been revealed, and we find out what Colt Cabana said about CM Punk backstage in AEW. But first, let's get to the quickfire headlines as AEW announcer Jim Ross has announced his involvement in an upcoming series of Dark Side of the Ring, with him appearing in an episode centered around the Junkyard Dog. The appearance follows past criticism from Ross towards the producers of Dark Side, with him feeling that he was misrepresented in final edits of 1 or 2 episodes. It seems now though that things have been smoothed over. And speaking of Dark Side of the Ring, the career of Ric Flair would be heavily tarnished after the release of the Plane Ride from Hell episode in September 2021, with the show spotlighting allegations made against him by air hostess Heidi Doyle. On his To Be the Man podcast, Flair has now revealed that a new documentary is in the works that will address the story from his point of view, adding that it will be thorough, with him set to quote, call people out big time. WWE superstar R-Truth has taken to social media to provide an update on his injury status following a botched dive to the outside on NXT last week. He would tell fans that he is set to enter surgery for a torn quad tendon, with the operation taking place last night. A report from Matt Black of WrestleZone last night revealed the upcoming AEW Fight Forever game will be releasing on the Xbox Game Pass on day 1. AEW Games have now posted a tweet to dismiss the claims, saying that they do not anticipate that the game will be part of any monthly gaming subscription services. Despite this though, Matt has doubled down on his report and would post this to Twitter. I'm not going to get in an argument or debate with anyone, but I just want to be clear that I stand by my story that I reported yesterday, as I had it confirmed by multiple sources. That's the last I'll say on this subject for now. It could be a case that AEW Games don't want to slow down physical or digital sales ahead of the announcement, so are denying it at least for now, or perhaps the plan has changed. The script's mystery would continue on last night's episode of NXT, with the individual once again sending a message to the Black and Gold brand. A voice could be heard in the arena warning of their impending debut, and they said, "My name is written on the walls, my voice sounds through the halls, and soon I'll be in NXT to watch the whole thing fall. Pain is truly among thee, imagine what will happen has happened because it was always meant to be. Sincerely, Scripts." Top Dollar of Hit Row was one of the names speculated on by fans to be behind the voice. However, he would rule this out on Twitter, with the case remaining open. Elsewhere on NXT, a vignette would once again air for the returning Dominik Dijakovic, with him again burning his mask from his days in Retribution under the name T-Bar. This time, his face could be seen wearing sunglasses, with him stating that he's wiped the slate clean for a fresh start. MLW CEO Court Bauer would speak with ad-free shows this week, where he revealed that during his time with Lucha Underground, the promotion held talks with WWE over a possible partnership, and he would say, "I set up a meeting with Paul Levesque, Triple H, to go up there and explore what a future could look like in some capacity with Lucha Underground and WWE's participation. For example, was there a world where Lucha Underground could be on the WWE network as original programming, or is there a scenario where they were interested in possibly acquiring it or licensing seasons to air for archival reasons?" Talks would of course fall through with Lucha Underground now being inactive, although its spirit does live on through MLW's Azteca Underground. Former UFC and WWE star Cain Velasquez has been released from jail on a $1 million bail, this after spending 8 months behind bars on charges of attempted murder. In February, Velasquez would chase down and attempt to shoot a man that was alleged to have sexually assaulted one of his younger relatives. Empathy for the MMA fighter would lead to the #FreeCain movement, although he had been denied bail 4 times up until now. His bail conditions include him not being able to go within 300 yards of the alleged victim and is forced to wear a GPS tracker. AEW star and wrestling legend Dustin Rhodes would speak on the Sports Guys Talk Wrestling podcast this week, where he would update fans on his future in AEW and in wrestling. The 52-year-old would discuss his recent knee injury and would say, "Knee is great, I'm feeling good, I'm ready to go back. I'll be back very, very soon, probably 2 weeks. Right now I feel good. I am getting older and that kind of weighs on my mind a little bit. My knee had a lot of cleanings, I've never had an ACL surgery. This is 14 surgeries altogether. I was just feeling old because my knee is taking a little longer to recuperate. Now I've got it, it's good to go. I'm getting older, they're getting younger and faster. I know my time is short. I still have a year under contract, a little less less than a year, and I'm going to try and do the best I can and entertain as much as I can because I still love it and am pretty passionate about it, but it is a young man's game, as everyone finds out. And if you're enjoying the video so far, make sure you drop a like on it and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss the latest wrestling news. But let's get into the main stories. And next up, let's look at some scrapped plans for an exploding death match in WWE. In 2006, The Undertaker would find himself feuding with the gigantic Great Khali, which led to the two men being booked in a match billed as the Punjabi Prison. In the end, Khali would be pulled from the match due to a wellness issue, with him being replaced by The Big Show. Going back to the Court Bauer ad-free shows interview from earlier in the video, Court was working in WWE at the time as a writer, and he would reveal the initial plan was for Undertaker and Khali to meet in an exploding deathmatch scenario before this was later changed to the Punjabi Prison, and he would reveal, "I had wanted to do a deathmatch, exploding deathmatch in WWE. They were trying different things at this time, and this was a time when they said, let's try to relaunch ECW, let's try different stuff. I showed Vince and Anita exploding deathmatch and he said, yeah, let's do it. From there, they said get with Kevin Dunn and his team, let's get to work on it. I wasn't the lead writer, I was just one of the writers in the room. Vince liked an idea and now it's on someone else's plate. We'll circle back and that's the lead writer's job to communicate with Kevin Dunn." About 12-14 days out, we finally see the first pictures of this thing being built, and it's like, oh, that's not an exploding deathmatch. It was supposed to be Undertaker in one of these things, and it turns out to be what you'd see out of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom or something. The match would ultimately be considered a failure, with WWE only revisiting the structure twice since 2006. But how do you think the exploding deathmatch would have fit into 2006 WWE? Let me know in the comments down below. And next up, the character MJF will be playing in an upcoming movie has been revealed. Last night, news would break via Deadline.com that AEW wrestler MJF will be involved in the upcoming biopic centered around the Von Erich wrestling family titled The Iron Claw. The Von Erichs were the stars of world-class championship wrestling in the 80s, with Fritz leading his band of sons to superstardom in Texas. According to a fresh report from PW Insider, Max's role in the film has now been revealed, with him set to portray Lance Von Erich, the cousin of the Von Erich brothers. Whilst Lance was known as a Von Erich in the ring, he is in fact a kayfabe member of the family and the storyline son of Fritz's non-existent brother Waldo. Other notable known members of the cast include Zac Efron, who will play Kevin Von Erich, Jeremy Allen White, who plays Kerry, Harris Dickinson, who plays David, and Holt McCallany, who portrays the role of Fritz. The movie is set for release next year in 2023, although no specific release date is known. And speaking of MJF, he is set to return to AEW Dynamite tonight for the first time since he was attacked by the firm 2 weeks ago, with him not being seen on television since. The reason for his absence is said to be linked to his role in the Iron Claw movie, with filming said to be still ongoing. On November 19th, MJF will challenge Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship, with the champion also set to be on Dynamite tonight ahead of next weekend's showdown. And next we find out what Colt Cabana said about CM Punk backstage in AEW. The broken friendship between CM Punk and Colt Cabana has been well documented, with the two former best friends turning bitter rivals after the legal battle with WWE Dr. Chris Amann, following claims made by Punk on Cabana's Art of Wrestling podcast. Whilst the two men would ultimately win the defamation case, Colt would later sue Punk for the cost of legal fees, leading to Punk countersuing, with the case later being thrown out. Speaking on his Keeping It 100 podcast this week, Conan would reveal a conversation that he had with Cabana about Punk when he was backstage at an AEW show earlier this year, and he would reveal, "When I saw Colt Cabana backstage, I remember asking him, so what's up with you now that Punk is back? He was like, yeah man, we're not really talking. I go, come on dude, after all these years, you guys were boys. He said, yeah man, he just won't talk to me. He would kind of look around like he knew." In hindsight, Conan feels that Cabana must have known that he was on his way out of the company following the signing of Punk, whether that be at the request of Punk himself or through a Tony Khan decision, and he would add, "Now when I look back, he knew that he was probably going to get the axe from Punk somehow, or Tony did it to make Punk happy, or Punk asked him, because now when I think back to that day, I remember telling him, bro, you can't even sit down and just say, hey, let's reset our friendship. He said, nah man, he won't even talk to me." Whilst Cabana did leave AEW when his contract expired, the Young Bucks are said to have pushed for him to be re-signed, with him being offered a Ring of Honor deal instead. Punk has refuted any claims that he had anything to do with Colt's exit, with this being backed up by AEW president Tony Khan himself on multiple occasions. Either way, Punk is now absent from television following his injury and suspension after AEW All Out 2022, with Cabana returning to AEW last week for a one-off appearance in a match with Chris Jericho for the ROH World title. And before you go, make sure you check out the truth behind CM Punk's secret wrestling returns before AEW.